So after you get your account created and you verify your email address, when you go to log in, you will first see your create your tactician screen. Simply choose a name, move forward, you'll be able to choose a sprite, male or female, choose an eye color, and a character size. These will affect your army differently, so you may want to go through these options and see what they do. When you move forward, you'll be able to choose a birth date. You can go with your personal birth date, or you can just go with any birth date you like. Based on your birthday, you will have a different horoscope sign. These will give you a different element in game and different starting reputation points. So if I change, you'll see my element changes. There are 4 different elements, and each one will give you a unique tactician spell. You'll be able to refer to the website to see what these different spells do, so you can choose accordingly. Once you select your birth date and your bonus stats, you can move forward. Now these bonus stats will affect your entire army, so you may want to choose wisely here. Review what you're about to create. Move forward when you're ready. So as soon as you enter the town of Aradine here, the first thing you're going to want to do is talk to the NPC here and accept the quest. Pretty straightforward, just explore the town, key interest points. You have a little window here on the side that shows your current objectives, and as you complete the objectives, they'll start to disappear. Now when we completed this quest, we actually got 2 items, and that's why our tactician tab was blinking. When we turned in the quest, it gave us a sword and shield, and that is for your fighter to start out with. Take the next quest, and this is when the combat begins. Eventually you will find your way to the sewers level 1. Once you enter, you can select your party by left-clicking on the screen and dragging the cursor over your units. Once they're selected, you'll see a green circle around them, and you will have a selected target in the top left corner. So the character that leads the party is the character on top. So if you right-click to move around, it's just going to move the party leader, but if you hold in the left shift key and move, it will move every unit that you have selected. You can change your party leader by dragging another character on that place, and that will switch the unit's position. So now my party leader is the priest, and if I shift click, the other characters will move. But typically you're going to want to keep the fighter as your party leader for the purpose of drawing aggro first. So you'll also have these 2 tactician spells. If you push T, you can go to your tactician sheet. You can have 2 spells equipped at once. The absorb is the elemental spell given based off my zodiac sign, and the second spell is morale boost. Every level you'll gain a new spell for your tactician, and there are 20 levels, so 20 different spells. And morale boost buffs any unit. It gives it +2 strength and +2 agility per tactician level. So if you were level 20, it would give 40 strength, 40 agility for 30 minutes. You simply, whatever unit you have selected in the top left, when you cast the spell by pressing 2, it will buff that unit. And tactician spells don't cost MP, they actually cost energy. Energy is what allows you to take action in the game. And every time you spend energy, you actually gain tactician experience. That's how you gain tactician experience, by spending energy. The only thing that you can do that doesn't give your tactician experience by spending energy is resting in town. That is the only action that doesn't give your tactician experience. So when you see an enemy, again, the same as movement. If I were to right click on this ghoul, it would only send my party leader to attack. But if I, again, hold down the left shift key and right click, it'll send both characters to go attack, or your entire party. You can see the stamina bar on the right is what's required to take action. Your spells progress over time, and they take less stamina as you rank them up. They also quicken in cast time and have a shorter cooldown. So by ranking up your spells, it increases just about every aspect of it, making them faster to cast, faster cooldown, more powerful, take less stamina. So very important to level up your spells over time. So it's important to pay attention to when you have updates on your different windows. For example, early on in the tutorial here, when you're completing these quests, you're actually going to be getting character tokens to create new characters. These sewers is more of a tutorial for players, and it's to accrue your characters over time and learn to use them a bit more slower than normal. So again, for that quest, I got another character token, so I'll be able to create a new character now. For your third character, you're actually able to choose whatever you like. I would recommend creating a wizard for your third character. They're very powerful and will make clearing the next floor much more simple. If you go to your character sheet and open up your character spellbook, every class has a unique spellbook for the east and west tree. The south tree is passive bonuses that all characters get the same, but every single one of these spells will progress to rank 100, and each one will grow more powerful with every rank. The range will increase, the cast time will be reduced, the cooldown will be reduced, and the stamina cost will be reduced. So ranking these up is quite critical in growing your characters over time. The game is not designed for you to get every single spell rank 100, where theoretically this is possible. It's not really designed that way. So the amount of time that it would require to get every single spell to rank 100 would probably take 5 to 7 years, which we don't expect anyone to do that. The idea is players are going to choose 2 through 4 of these spells and specialize in them specifically. Anybody can do anything they want and can spread their skills out as much as they want through every spell if they'd like, but specializing in a few will ultimately be the best route in the end. Be sure as a new player to have tips turned on in the settings menu. There's a lot of small tips throughout the game so far that you'll be able to see if you have this on. You can also change your theme here if you like, and customize the sound settings. In your tactician's character sheet, you have a little menu down here. You can see your tactician skills, which are your different crafting skills that we'll be getting into later. You can also see your reputation with different factions in the game. So eventually you'll get to this point where you finish the tutorial, and you'll notice my tactician gained a level there. Once you complete the tutorial, you become level 2, and you also get your first piece of tactician gear. So the gloves give you 1 strength and 1 fortitude, but this is tactician equipment. So tactician equipment affects your entire army. So now that I got the gloves, I can go into my army here, and every single character gains that bonus. You can also see here that we unlocked the next level 2 tactician spell, Lightning Bolt, which actually does combat damage to enemies in game. So eventually, once you leave town, you'll come out to the world map here. Now, this is important to understand that Gaia is one world. Everybody's going to share the same world, the same town, auction house. There are multiple towns and cities and kingdoms you'll be able to find exploring. There's also these green nodes, which are scenes you can enter that have lots of different quest objectives, resources to harvest, chests to find, different monsters to kill, NPCs to talk to, and you'll be able to explore around and unlock the world over time. As you walk, it consumes energy every 16 by 16 grid you walk through. Also, every grid you walk through, you will be able to find a random battle, which we will find here shortly. As you explore sections of the map, chunks will unveil, as well as your standard sight vision as you approach the darkness. As you can see, we just found a random battle here while we were exploring. And then throughout this small random map here, as I said earlier, you'll be able to find different treasure, kill different enemies. Ultimately, you'll fall upon a rich deposit, which are usually guarded by lots of enemies. These provide a lot more resources than normal, where you'll be able to use these resources to craft different types of gear, predominantly weapons and armor with ore, such as this. You're given 1 set of tools after you complete the tutorial. I've crafted a few extra here already. Priest doesn't have one. And you'll be able to harvest with your characters. So your character stats matter greatly for your ability to harvest. Each character gets a harvest skill that can go up to rank 100, and then also their 4 fundamental stats, the strength, fortitude, arcana, and agility. They affect the speed that you harvest, the amount that you can harvest, and how much stamina it costs, and also the higher your arcana is, the higher chance you have of getting a rare drop. You'll notice they stopped harvesting for a little bit. That's because they ran out of stamina. The higher your fortitude is, the less stamina required to swing your tool. So you'd be able to harvest more consistently the higher fortitude you have. So as your characters grow in power, they also grow in harvest capability, where there might be some points in the game that you need to harvest as quick as possible, and having higher skill and power in your characters is going to make this much easier to achieve. after you get some resources, we ended up getting 25 ore and 2 rare gemstones. You'll be able to come back to town and use a crafting anvil. From here, you can see all the basic recipes in the game. Cloth, leather, plate, armor, all weapons, jewelry, cooking, alchemy, refining, repairing, transmuting. Enchanting is not in game yet, and you can salvage equipment. So we got some ore, and we want to turn that ore into ingots. So it costs 2 ore to make 1 ingot, requires refining skill of 1, 2 minutes per. If I were to build 5, that's what these specifications are for. A single one is 10 seconds with 1 energy. So we'll just go ahead and craft all 12. And then after you choose to craft something, you can come down to the current builds and see what you're crafting. After it's done crafting, we can loot the item. We'll get the 12 ingots into the tactician inventory. At this point, we can create a plate belt with the ingots we just crafted. We just need 1 coal. Coal is sold here at the vendor. Purchase 20. And then you'll be able to craft a plate belt for your fighter. So I also crafted the 2 rare gems we found into rings here. We'll go ahead and loot all this. So you'll notice when you craft items, they'll have a quality in the bottom right corner. Every time you craft an item, based on your skill in that crafting type, in this case plate belt will be your armor crafting skill, the higher your skill is, the higher chance you have of getting a higher quality craft. These will range from plain, fine, superb, magnificent, and divine. Every quality rank up gives the item higher stats and sometimes armor and resistances. So players are expected to continuously craft and salvage items down and grow a higher skill with the expectation of getting higher quality equipment to either sell for large amounts of money or use for themselves to have a more powerful army of characters. Players will have the option to purchase land. There are 10 plots in the static town of Aradine right now with unlimited plots of the slums here. And purchasing one of these plots or the slums, you'll be able to use stone that you harvest in game to upgrade your property. The 10 static properties that exist, players will be able to put items for sale on these benches here so that players can walk by, inspect the item, and quickly and conveniently purchase those items. Anybody else that wants to sell items, there will eventually be an auction house down here in the corner that they will be able to sell and buy stuff at a very high tax rate. One of the perks of owning these houses is you can sell your items for no tax and people can see them very easily with them being on these benches in the future. This isn't currently implemented into the game yet, but should be coming soon. In your stash here, you'll also have an NFT stash. So we have lots of different NFTs currently that players can purchase, and when they have the NFT in their Zum wallet, and that Zum wallet is attached to their game account, those NFTs will show up here and they'll be able to use them. One of the cool features we want to implement in the future of these NFTs are the ability to actually level up the items of the NFTs. And then as players use the NFTs and the items grow in power, they'll be able to sell them at a higher rate since they are more invested into and are more powerful than the traditional base level of the NFT. Also, we have a few NFT characters for sale that these specific NFT characters will be able to sell to other players, which is a unique perk that no other character can be sold from account to account. So if you're still watching this video, then you must be interested in the game. I would suggest signing up for beta, and we'll get back to you pretty quickly on getting you in the beta chat channel in Discord. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask in Discord chat. That would be the best place. And we hope to see you in game.